Ancestral Dravidian languages in Indus civilization. Ultra-conserved Dravidian toothed word reveals deep linguistic ancestry and supports genetics by Bahata and Sumali Mukhopadhyay. Ever since the discovery of Indus Valley civilization, scholars have debated the linguistic identities of its people. This study analyzes numerous archaeological, linguistic, archaeogenetic and historical evidences to claim that the words used for elephant, like piri, Piru, in Bronze Age Mesopotamia, the elephant word used in the Hurrian part of an Amarna letter of ca. 1400 BC, and the ivory word piris, recorded in certain 6th century BC Old Persian documents, were all originally borrowed from Pilu, a Proto-Dravidian elephant word, which was prevalent in the Indus Valley civilization, and was etymologically related to the Proto-Dravidian toothed word pal and its alternate forms pai or pil or pel. This paper argues that there is sufficient morphophonemic evidence of an ancient Dravidian pil or pi based root, which meant splitting or crushing, and was semantically related to the meanings tooth or tusk. This paper further observes that pilu is among the most ancient and common phytonyms of the toothbrush tree Salvadora persica, which is a characteristic flora of Indus Valley, and whose roots and twigs have been widely used as toothbrush in Indus Valley civilization regions since antiquity. This study claims that the phytonym, pilu, had also originated from the same Proto-Dravidian tooth word, and argues that since Indus Valley civilization people had named their toothbrush trees and tuskers elephants using a Proto-Dravidian tooth word, and since these names were widely used across Indus Valley civilization regions, a significant population of Indus Valley civilization must have used that Proto-Dravidian tooth word in their daily communication. Since tooth belongs to the non-borrowable ultra-conserved vocabulary of a speech community, its corollary is that a significant population of Indus Valley civilization spoke certain ancestral Dravidian languages. Important insights from recent archaeogenetic studies regarding possible migration of Proto-Dravidian speakers from Indus Valley to South India also corroborate the findings of this paper. https://doi Augur 10.1057 S4159902100868W Open 1 Information. Koch Industries, Bengaluru, India. Envelope email alapchari@gmail.com Humanities and Social Sciences Communications 20218-193. Introduction Indus Valley Civilization Indus Valley Civilization and its linguistic diversity. Indus Valley civilization, stretching across almost 1 million square kilometers of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the northwestern part of India. Kenoyer 2010 was the most expansive of Chalcolithic civilizations. Right from the discovery of Indus Valley civilization and its enigmatic script, several scholars have tried to trace the types of languages spoken in Indus Valley civilization. Types of languages presently spoken in the Indus Valley civilization regions are Indo-Aryan, e.g., Punjabi in Punjab with dialects Seraiki and Landa, Sindhi in Sindh, Hindi, Marwari, Gujarati in eastern parts of Greater Indus Valley, Dadak, e.g., Shina, Koa, Kohistani, Iranian, e.g., Baluchi, Dari, Pashto, and Waki in western parts of Greater Indus Valley, Nuristani in northeastern Afghanistan, Dravidian, Brahui, spoken in Baluchistan and Sindh, and Burushaski, a language isolate spoken in northernmost Pakistan close to the Chinese border. Perpola, 2015, from page number 163 to 164. Since the ancient world was generally more multilinguistic, 12,000–20,000 languages existed before spread of agriculture, compared to some 7,000 human languages of present times. Pagel, 2009, Ancient Indus Valley Civilization too arguably hosted more languages than today. This makes it unlikely that all the languages spoken in its 1,000 square kilometer expanse belong to only one linguistic group, whether Proto-Indo-Aryan, Proto-Dravidian or Proto-Austroasiatic. Languages of various groups, including some presently extinct languages massacre, 1979, might have coexisted in Indus Valley civilization for ages, influencing and shaping one another. The perennial puzzle regarding Indus Valley civilization languages, how archaeologists, linguists, historians and genetic anthropologists approach the problem. Arguments from archaeology and linguistics. Incommoded by the absence of any deciphered written record composed in Indus Valley civilization, Indus script is still undeciphered. Scholars hold vastly different opinions regarding types of languages spoken in Indus Valley civilization. Once an advocate of the idea of a Para-Munda, not Proto-Munda, speaking Indus Valley civilization. Witzel, 1999, 2000, 2009. Witzel presently prefers keeping the question of original Indian languages open till better reconstructions of Dravidian and Munda languages and investigation of substrate words of ancient indigenous languages present in North Indian Indo-Aryan languages are done. Witzel, 2019. While many linguists, Perpola 2015, Dream 1999, Osada 2006, have opposed the Austroasiatic-related hypotheses regarding Indus Valley civilization's languages, Southworth 2004, from page number 325 to 328, shares Witzel's Para-Munda theory, despite vigorously advancing the idea of prehistoric Dravidian influence on various languages presently spoken in Indus Valley civilization regions, e.g., Sindh, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Although some scholars claim that Indus Valley civilization languages belong to some Proto-Indo-Aryan or early Indo-European language group, Renfrew, 1987, from page number 185 to 208, Rao, 1982, many others, e.g., Krishnamurti, 2003, page number 501. Perpola, 1994, defend a Proto-Dravidian speaking Indus Valley civilization. Perpola, 1988, 1994, 2015, proposes Proto-Dravidian etymologies of suspect substrate words, e.g., Kiambu, Sakatam, Om, Kinnara present in Vedic texts, and certain suspect Indic words found in Mesopotamian texts, Themagilam, boats of Melucha. Suggests that some of the fish-like signs of Indus script represented the Dravidian fish word Meena to spell out certain Dravidian theophoric astral names prevalent in Indus Valley civilization, and adduces additional anthropological and ethnographic proofs of Dravidian influence, including Dravidian kinship and cross-cousin marriage rules practiced in the presently Indo-Aryan speaking societies of Indus Valley civilization regions, e.g. Gujarat. Though the prehistoric existence of language X, an unknown primordial language not of Proto-Indo-Aryan, Proto-Dravidian, or Proto-Munda type, was suggested by Massacre's 1979 analysis of various agricultural terms prevalent in some North Indian languages. Massacre 1991, page number 40, has later commented that the Dravidian stock is a strong but is yet unproven contender for the languages of the Harappans. Despite many such scholarly works, very few linguistic evidences, enjoying enough archaeological support to irrefutably identify the languages of Indus Valley civilization, have been offered so far. The situation is even more complicated due to several unresolved questions around the prehistoric spatio-temporal expanse of some major linguistic groups of present India, Indo-Aryan, Dravidian, and Austroasiatic, and their influences over one another. Dravidian group languages, despite being spoken mostly in southern India, e.g., Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, also have scattered representations in India's northwestern Brahui, northeastern Kuru, Malto, and central, e.g., Kolami, Neki, Parji, Olari, Gadaba parts, indicating that Dravidian speakers possibly had much greater prehistoric presence in northern India, including Indus Valley civilization regions, Southworth, 2004. Moreover, mathematical linguistic studies confirm that Proto-Dravidian existed in the time of Indus Valley civilization. Page et al. 2013, Kolipekam et al. 2018. Similarly, though Austroasiatic languages e.g. Mundari, Santali, Khasi are currently spoken mostly in northeastern India, presence of the isolated Austroasiatic language Korku amidst Dravidian-speaking Gondas and other Indo-Aryan speakers in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra indicates the possibility of a wider Austroasiatic presence in prehistoric India. Southworth, 2004. Such uncertainties about spatio-temporal expanse assail even Indo-Aryan languages, the most dominant language group of present North India, which has provided us with Rigveda and Atharvana Veda, the oldest Indian texts composed in Sanskrit. Whether Indo-Aryan languages entered India from outside after Indus Valley civilization's decline, or were present in India since or from before the Indus Valley civilization era and were spoken in Indus Valley civilization, are questions that have enjoyed almost 200 years of scholarly attention. Bryant and Patton, 2005, along with innumerable amateurish attempts, often motivated by identity politics. Arguments from archaeogenetics. Parallel to archaeology and linguistics, archaeogenetics can immensely help us reconstruct the linguistic prehistory of a region. For example, a recent cross-disciplinary archaeogenetics study, Narasimhan et al., 2019, not only infers a likely genetic signature for people of the Indus Valley civilization, page number 2, but also suggests interesting theories regarding Proto-Dravidian spread. This study postulates that having different proportions of Iranian farmer-related ancestry and ancient ancestral South Indian-related ancestry was a characteristic feature of many Indus Valley civilization people, page number 12. It states that after Indus Valley civilization's decline, this population mixed with northwestern groups with steppe ancestry to form ancestral North Indians, Ani, and also mixed with southeastern groups to form ancestral South Indians, Asi, whose direct descendants today live in tribal groups in southern India, page number 1. It argues that mixtures of these two post-Indus Valley civilization groups, the Ani and Asi, drive the main gradient of genetic variation in South Asia today, page number 1. Most relevantly, this archaeogenetic study states that quite possibly, Proto-Dravidian was spread by peoples of Indus Valley civilization along with the Indus peripheric line ancestry component of the Asi. Ancestral South Indian, page number 30. Here Indus peripheric line refers to the ethnicity of 11 Indus Valley civilization era individuals whose remains were recovered from burials of two sites in cultural contact with Indus Valley civilization. These individuals are conjectured to be migrants from Indus Valley civilization, as their genomes do not fit the genomes of the core population found in their burial sites, but fit well with genomes of 86 post-Indus Valley civilization 1200-800 BC people living near the headwaters of river Indus, and also genomes of diverse present-day South Asians. However, Narasimhan et al. Do not deny the alternative possibility that Proto-Dravidian was spread by the half of the ASI's ancestry that was not from the Indus peripheric line and instead derived from the South and the East Peninsular South Asia, page number 30. Other related genomic study, Shinde et al., 2019, analyzes the genome of one Indus Valley civilization era individual from Rakhigadi, a long-standing Indus settlement, and discusses how that individual shared the same Iranian farmer-related ancestry as of Indus peripheric line individuals, but little if any steppe pastoralist-derived ancestry, and how this Iranian farmer-related ancestry had diverged from the Western Iranian people since at least 8000 BC. Genetic ancestries and languages not being always linearly correlated, these studies, although quite helpful, do not suffice for a show call regarding the dominant linguistic groups extant in Indus Valley civilization. For they do not tell us which languages were spoken by the Indus Valley civilization's ancestors, after their ancestors and predecessors of Western Iranian people had split around 8000 BC. Nor can the genetic data surely say if Dravidian languages originated in Indus Valley civilization or in the southern Indian peninsula. How the present paper solves a part of the puzzle. This study seeks to resolve a crucial part of this perennial puzzle of South Asian prehistory, through establishing the certain existence of ancestral Dravidian languages in Indus Valley civilization. In the absence of any deciphered written documents of Indus Valley civilization, we have no direct way of identifying Harappan languages. So, the only feasible starting point is finding some proto-words which meet most of the following criteria. I. Historical and linguistic evidence indicates that Indus Valley civilization was the most likely origin of those proto-words. E. Archaeological evidence indicates that the objects signified by those proto-words were prevalently produced and used in Indus Valley civilization. E. Those proto-words etymologies can be traced back to one of the language groups present in the Indian subcontinent using the most stringent criteria prescribed in historical linguistics. IV. Historical and linguistic evidence should prove that the identified language group was present in the Indian subcontinent in the Indus Valley Civilization era. Archaeogenetic data should prove that present speakers of this language group are significantly genetically related to the Indus Valley Civilization population. The proto-words should be etymologically related to the stable non-borrowable basic vocabulary of a language, which can trace out a language's ancestry. Fortunately, we do have such proto-words. Since Indus Valley Civilization had a thriving trading relationship with Persian Gulf and Mesopotamia, the study has searched through ancient Near Eastern texts, hoping to find certain fossilized foreign words which had their origin in Indus Valley Civilization. The logic is that when we import a foreign commodity not locally produced, we usually call it by its foreign name. This intuitive approach has been duly rewarded, as it is found that the words Piru or Peri, and their various dialectal variations, which signified elephant in Akkadian and ivory Pirus in Old Persian, are perfect tools for the present endeavor. My study argues that since archaeological data strongly associates Near Eastern ivory objects of middle 3rd to early 2nd millennium BC with Asian elephants and Indus Valley Civilization traders, Frenes, 2018a, Holigdom and David Cuny, 2018, and since the ivory words, e.g., ab, abu, ab, bahu, necheti, used in ancient Egypt, the only other major source of prehistoric ivory, Butch, 1920, has no phonetic connection to Piru. These Piru-based words could likely have originated in Indus Valley Civilization. Strong linguistic evidence corroborating the above hypothesis comes from ancient Indic languages. In several Dravidian languages, Pilu, Pella, Palla, Pallava, Piluvam, Piluru, etc., signify elephant. Narain, 1991, page number 25, Kittle, 1894, Brown, 1903. Madras Tamil Lexicon, 1924-36. Moreover, in present Dravidian languages, the most popular word for female elephant is PD, Burrow and Emano, 1984, which is also reconstructed as a Proto-Dravidian word Pidite Starostan, 2006-2013. Now, cerebral LDRR are intimately allied and highly interchangeable in Dravidian languages called well, 1875, page number 33. 59. For example, the word for fowl is pronounced as Kori, Kodi, and Koli in Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada, respectively. Even for the very term, Dravida, from which Dravidian is derived, that meant southern Indian people in their country in ancient Sanskrit, Buddhist, and Jain texts, there were other forms, such as Dramila, Dramila, and Damila, among which the L-based form Damila was more ancient according to Krishnamurti, 2003, page number 2. Thus, I, being a Proto-Dravidian feminine gender marker Krishnamurti, 2003, page number 213, Pidai, female elephant is closely related to Tamil Piluvam, where the cerebral L is preserved, or Telugu Piluru, where the cerebral L is replaced by I, as also observed by Bagchi, 1933. Pilo is also attested as elephant in Sanskrit and the Middle Indo-Aryan language Pali, whereas Pilika is recorded to mean female elephant in Sanskrit, whose male form, though not recorded, must have been Pilika. Monia Williams, 1872, page number 628, 630, Tin, 1920, page number 151. The difference between I in the Akkadian and Old Persian word, Piru, and I in the Indic word, Pilu, is explicable by the fact that other than appearing in some rare loan words, the phoneme I is often found to be absent in many ancient Iranian languages, where outlandish L's were often spelled and pronounced as As, e.g. in Old Persian, Babylon was called Babiru, Klein et al., 2017, Testant, 1997, page number 582, Windfer, 2009. Since people of ancient Persia had functioned as intermediaries between Mesopotamian and Indus Valley Civilization traders, Holigdom and David Cuny, 2018, Lehmans, 1960, page number 5, Oppenheim, 1954, while exporting Indus Valley Civilization's ivory, they had arguably spread the Indic elephant word Piru, less than Pilu, to Mesopotamia as well. Since Akkadian is one of the earliest Semitic languages to have had contact with ancient Iranian languages, Akkadian speakers conceivably borrowed the word in its ancient Iranian form. Later and elsewhere more direct contact to non-Iranian sources possibly led to borrowing of the original I variant. Thus, certain early Seleucid cuneiform texts ca. 300 BC used Pilu, not Old Akkadian, Piru. Stolper, 1994, from page number 20 to 22, whereas Middle Iranian languages such as Middle Persian and Parthian used Pi as their elephant word, Durkheimeisterens, 2004. Exploring the etymology of this ivory or elephant word, Pilu, I find unmistakable evidence that root words for tooth, used in Dravidian languages across North, Central and South Dravidian families, are Paul, Peller, Pallu, Pallu, etc. Burrow and Emano, 1984, whose connection with elephant are elephant tusk words, such as Pillu, Pillika, Palla, Peller, Narain, 1991, Kittel, 1894, cannot be merely coincidental. Two most unfailing taxonomical features of elephants are trunks and tusks. The most popular Sanskrit word for elephant is Hastan or Hasti, as the elephant trunk seemed like a asta hand to Vedic people. McDonnell and Keith, 1912b, page number 172. But elephant's another moniker, Danton or tooth haver in Sanskrit Bock, 1856, page number 763, is etymologically rooted in the ancient Danta-based Indo-Aryan and Indo-Iranian tooth words. Danta and Dantan meant tooth in Rigveda. McDonnell and Keith, 1912a, page number 339, and Avesta Rieshelf, 1911, page number 234, 263, respectively, whereas words derived from Danta mean tooth in most of the present-day North Indian languages. Similarly, Abu-based Egyptian elephant words are related to the Egyptian tooth words Abahi and Abe Baj. 1920. Intriguingly, along with female elephant Pidai, whose Tamil form Pidi is attested to in Tolkappiyam Murugan, 2000, page number 636, female hog was also called Pidivandi in the 10th century. Kannada classic work on Mahabharat called Pampa Bharata, Burrow and Emano, 1984. Now, just like elephant word Palla, the word for hog is also Pandri, literally a tusker, from the radical pal, a tusk, Caldwell, 1875, page number 30. So, use of Pidai, phonologically and semantically related to Piluvam and Pilu for both female hog and female elephant, the females of tuskers, cannot be coincidental. Thus, the relation between Proto-Dravidian tooth word and the Dravidian pal or pai based elephant words must be deeply etymological, not accidental. Another revealing and independent evidence of Pilu's connection with the meaning of tooth comes from the widespread Indic phytonym of Salvadora persica, known in the Western world as toothbrush tree and in Arabic countries as Mishwak tree. Mishwak meaning tooth cleaning stick, Hack and Al-Sarai, 2015. The obvious reason behind such tooth-related names of this tree is that its branches and roots have been used since antiquity as natural toothbrush, contain as they do several biologically active chemical constituents considered highly beneficial for oral hygiene. Hack and Al-Sarai, 2015, Kumar et al., 2012. Given this, one speakers of several Indic languages call Salvadora persica as Pilu, we need have no doubt that just like the elephant word Pilu, this phytonym too is related to the Proto-Dravidian tooth word. Revealingly, Indian epic Mahabharat Ganguly, 1883-96, frequently associates the Pilu tree with regions of Indus River Basin. See the section, the toothbrush tree Pilu, its tooth-based etymology and ancient habitat, proving that the Pilu phytonym was prevalent in Indus Valley since antiquity. Moreover, Chinese travelogues of Huansang AD 629 tell us how an ancient toponym of northwestern India contained the Pilu word, and how certain associated legends were related with meanings of toothbrush tree and elephant. Beale, 1884, page number XCBI, 67. Phytonyms, zononyms and toponyms being crucial cultural indicators, these evidences prove the etymological depth and spread of Pilu in Greater Indus Valley since prehistory. My next concern is explaining how all this provides a crucial clue for exploring Indus Valley civilization languages. As a basic vocabulary item of a speech community, which normally does not feel any pressure to change or to resist change, tooth is included in the following. Morris Swadesh's 100 Basic Vocabulary Items, Swadesh, 1971, from page number 282 to 284, table A.1. Leipzig Jakarta list of the least borrowable vocabulary computationally created by gleaning empirical data from 41 representative languages selected from all continents, which shares 62 items with Swadesh list Tadmore et al., 2010. ASJP list of 40 most stable and effective vocabulary items with respect to language classification Holman et al. 2008, page number 337, created by analyzing words corresponding to Swadesh's 1971 basic meaning items collected from 245 languages, 128 languages of 23 language families of the Eastern Hemisphere, 117 languages of 46 families of the Western Hemisphere, and Dolgopolskai's list of 23 most stable vocabulary items, Tadmore et al., 2010. Moreover, tooth, a frequently used, ultra-conserved vocabulary item with cognate classes in various language families, can help us trace the deep linguistic ancestry across different Eurasian languages. Pagel et al., 2013. Now, if peoples across Indus Valley civilization regions had named their toothbrush tree and tuskers with close derivatives of a Proto-Dravidian tooth word, then they must have used the tooth word, indicating that the basic vocabulary items for a significant population of Indus Valley civilization must have been Proto-Dravidian. Thus, ancestral Dravidian languages must have been prevalent in Indus Valley civilization. Here, it is important to note that the study cautiously refrains from either proving or disproving the presence of any other language group in this likely multilingual civilization. All these points are elaborated in the sections, results, and conclusion, along with a detailed discussion of how certain archaeological and linguistic evidences corroborate suggestions of certain archaeogenetic studies regarding the existence of ancestral Dravidian people in Indus Valley civilization. Methods used in this research. This is an interdisciplinary research that does critical analysis of various archaeological, historical, linguistic and genetic evidence, to join many yet unconnected dots about the linguistic identities of the people of Indus Valley civilization. The methodology is sufficiently outlined in introductory section. How the present paper solves a part of the puzzle. Since no other experimental or statistical analysis is done, this section needs no further detail. Results of this research study: Indus Valley civilization's elephant word, archaeological and textual evidence. As Tavernier 2007, page number 35, states, despite the fact that Akkadian Piru elephant is attested earlier than its of Old Persian equivalents and a possible Semitic origin of Piru looks more probable at first sight, the expression's origin must be sought for in India. Deferring my linguistic argument supporting Tavernier's insight to the section, the Proto-Dravidian root of Indus Valley civilization's ivory word, I would adduce historical and archaeological evidence to prove that Piru, or Pilu, based ivory or elephant words were at least as old as Indus Valley civilization, and had most likely traveled to Near East from Indus Valley civilization. The age of the elephant word Piru. The usage of Piru, and its dialectal variations to signify elephant, can be traced back at least to the Old Babylonian period ca. 1600 BC, from its use in an Akkadian wisdom tablet Lambert, 1960, from page number 272 to 273. Piru-based elephant words have occurred in various Mesopotamian texts, such as a 716 BC Assyrian tablet, Lambert, 1960, from page number 212 to 219, a standard Babylonian tablet V of Babylonian Gilgamesh epic, and an older Middle Babylonian version of it. George, 2003, from page number 334 to 335, 621 inscriptions of various Assyrian kings, including Tiglath-Pileser I 1114-1076 BC, Tiglath-Pileser IV 745 to 727 BC, Sennacherib 704 to 682 BC, and Esarhaddon 680 to 668 BC, Vajanking 1902, from page number 85 to 86. 139, Rogers 1912, page number 316, 344, 354. Moreover, in an old Persian inscription of King Darius I, the word used for ivory is piris, whereas, in the Elamite version of the inscription it is written as Pi Hi Ram, the or here possibly used to lengthen the pronunciation of Oriah. Lecoq, 1997, page number 237, Wallet, 1970, page number 159, Tavernier, 2007, page number 35. Intriguingly, the Hurrian part of an Amarna letter of c. 1400 BC had used another dialectal form, c in Vieru, of the Akkadian ivory word Sinni Piri Maran, 1992, from page number 65 to 68, Spicer, 1940-41, page number 46. Supplementary File S1's section A contains more details about the aforementioned references. As confirmed by the Assyrian Dictionary, Roth, 2005, from page number 418 to 420, and the aforesaid references, Piru. For elephant was recorded since the Old Babylonian period ca. 1600 BC, which overlaps with the latest phases of urbanized Indus Valley civilization ca. 2600-1900 BC. Coinage of this word must have happened much earlier than its first appearance in written Mesopotamian records. Thus, despite the existence of Sumerian descriptive elephant words such as Tillu Yuji, lion killer, and Amsi, wild ox with a horn, Lewis and Llewellyn Jones, 2018, Piru-based appellatives for elephant were truly prevalent, as they were used through millennia in Akkadian, Hurrian, Old Persian, for ivory, and even Elamite languages. The Indus Valley civilization origin of the elephant word Piru. Having established that the Akkadian elephant word Piru was at least coeval with Indus Valley civilization, I posit that Piru-based elephant appellatives being first discovered from Mesopotamian records, there are two alternative possibilities of coinage to consider. I. Elephants were indigenous to Mesopotamia, and Mesopotamians had themselves coined the Piru-based words P. Elephants being foreign to Mesopotamia, Mesopotamians had possibly borrowed the Piru-based words from their ivory trading partners. Choosing between these possibilities is complicated. For, at different periods Mesopotamians had used different sources of ivory, which included ivory imported from Dilmunna Dilmun, Melucha, Magan, ancient Egypt, and also the ivory of the local Syrian elephants. Considering the Old Persian ivory word, piris, these same questions would also be posed regarding ancient Persia's source of ivory. Following conjectures seek to answer these questions. Conjecture 1. Syrian elephants were not an indigenous species of Mesopotamia. All elephants of our present geological era belong to two major groups. I. African elephants, Loxodonta africana, and E. Asian, also known as Indian, elephants, Elephas maximus indicus, which genetically diverged from each other since about 7.6 million years ago, Roland et al. 2007. Regarding local elephants of Mesopotamia only, Syrian elephants, Elephas maximus asurus, which grazed between the plain of Jabul and the Khabur Basin, Murray, 1994, page number 117, could be considered. But, though the terminology of Syrian elephant makes sense in a geographical way, they were genetically not different from the Asian species, being actually herds of an isolated subspecies of Asian elephant, who almost certainly lived in the restricted ecological zones of northwestern Syria, from ca. 1700 to 700 BC. Frenes, 2018a, page number 80. Historical testimony of their existence comes from hunting records of various Assyrian and Egyptian kings during 16th to 8th century BC, whereas physical proof of their presence comes from various non-anthropogenic natural deposits of elephant remains found from Gabor Golu of Turkey and Habbaniya swamp of Iraq, parts of Greater Syria. Murray, 1994, page number 117, Kekir Larand Ikram, 2016. The following longish quote of Kakeler and Ikram 2016 clearly reveals that the Syrian elephants were most probably Indian elephants, which were imported by Mesopotamian elites with the help of Indus Valley civilization traders. In Southwest Asia, the earliest representations of elephants appear in art and mythological literature, originating from eastern Lower Mesopotamia, and date to the end of the 3rd millennium BC. The style of depiction, though, seems to derive from that of the Indus Valley. This strongly suggests a second-hand knowledge of elephants, rather than first-hand, real-life experience. From Greece to Arabia, no single reference to, or depiction of, an elephant or elephant parts, antedates these first finds from the end of the 3rd millennium BC. This consolidates other evidence that shows that the Holocene elephants of Southwest Asia were not endemic to the region and that the early Bronze Age peoples of the region knew about them only through their contact with India, or possibly Egypt. The latter is less likely as these animals were no longer indigenous there by that time, although remembered. A corroborating evidence regarding non-African origin of Syrian elephants is that not only the elephant molars of Gabor Golu deposit, but also the preserved molars and tusks found from Isaiah, Kinet Hoyk and Alalak, located in Hatay province on the Mediterranean coast of Turkey, i.e. part of Greater Syria, like all other elephant molars found in the region, are easily recognizable as belonging to Asian elephants. Kakeler and Ikram, 2016, page number 172-175. Now, Syrian elephants were most likely imported from Indus Valley civilization only since circa 1700 BC, i.e. post-Indus Valley civilization period, whereas ivory was being worked on in Indus Valley civilization since at least 5500 BC. Murray, 1994, page number 116, and was being imported from Indus Valley civilization to Mesopotamia since the middle of 3rd millennium BC. Lehmans, 1960. Therefore, the possibility of coinage of the elephant word Piru at Mesopotamia is very thin. Conjecture 2. Indus Valley civilization was the exclusive source of Mesopotamia's ivory in middle 3rd to early 2nd millennium BC, while Nile Delta and the southern Levant had a thriving culture of manufacturing and exchanging objects made of hippopotamus ivory. Mesopotamia has mostly used elephant ivory, as recorded in various Mesopotamian trade documents. Massain. Parmesano, 2018. Hippopotamus does not appear to be represented outside Egypt on any objects of Near Eastern origin that may be regarded as wholly independent of an Egyptian connection, nor has a term for it yet been confidently recognized in Akkadian or Hebrew or cognate languages. Murray, 1994, page number 150. From mid-3rd up to early 2nd millennium BC, Sumerian and Akkadian cuneiform sources foreground 3 foreign lands: Makkah, Magan, Oman Peninsula, Meluchak, Greater Indus Valley, and Dilmun, Bahrain Islands of Persian Gulf, as provenances of at least 42 traded commodities, including elephant ivory. Gelb, 1970, Crawford, 1998. Supplementary File S1 Section B details the reasons for associating Melucha of middle 3rd to early 2nd millennium BC with Greater Indus Valley. Among earliest cuneiform records mentioning ivory along with its geographical origin, the 3rd dynasty, ca. 2112-2004 BC, texts, UET 3 761, 764, 768, 757, 777, record certain multicolored ivory birds of Meluchak Gun Masan Miluhe. Lehmans, 1960, page number 33, providing a direct evidence regarding the Indus Valley civilization origin of Mesopotamia's ivory. Although such figurines are not yet found in Mesopotamia, a comparable ivory bird is excavated from Tel Abrak of Magan, where source of ivory was India. Potts, 2000, page number 100-131. Despite Melucha's frequent mentions as provenance of various commodities, e.g. gemstones, timbers, records of ivory birds are the only textual evidence that directly associates Melucha with Mesopotamia's ivory. However, Magan and Dilmun are mentioned repeatedly as sources of Mesopotamian ivory. But, as shown below, both these places had imported their ivory from Indus Valley civilization. Magan's source of ivory, Magan, the crucial source of Mesopotamia's copper, was also mentioned as its ivory trading partner. In the years 2027-2025 BC, a merchant named Luanlilla, living at Earth, was charged with purchasing copper, ivory, semi-precious stones and ochre from Magan. Pots, 2000 page number 54. The Earth-3 tablet UET 3751 registers 38 minas of ivory among other items imported from Magan, Larsen and Stinkler, 2017, page number 58. But elephants were not autochthonous to Magan. In the zooarchaeological analysis of more than 100,000 pieces of fairly well-preserved animal bones found from a long sequence of settlements ca. late 3rd millennium to 300 BC in Tel Abrak of Magan, Uapman, 2001, no elephant bone is mentioned. Despite this absence of local elephants, Tel Abrak has probably yielded more ivory combs than any other site in the Near East, some of which were decorated with typical Harappan style dotted circles, whereas some others contained long-stemmed tulip designs typical of ancient Bactria. Pots, 2000 page number 100. According to Potts, the source of Tel Abrak's ivory must have originally been the Indian elephant. Close trade ties between Magan's Tel Abrak and Indus Valley civilization are proven through Harappan-type cubical chert weights found in the fortification at Tel Abrak, and Harappan-style pottery found at several of its settlements. Potts, 2000, page number 130. However, the ivory combs with distinctive tulip designs were possibly imported from Bactria, northern Afghanistan and southern Uzbekistan. Potts, 2000. But Frenes 2018a, page number 19, confirms that Bronze Age Bactria's ivory might have reached the Oxus civilization sites only from the Indus Valley, where the exploitation of Elephas Maximus and its ivory dates back to the Aceramic Neolithic, ca. 7550 BC, and became widespread during the Bronze Age. Thus, even if some of Tel Abrak's ivory combs were imported from Bactria, their ultimate origin was Indus Valley civilization. Another possibility is that certain itinerant ivory carvers of Indus Valley civilization present in Tel Abrak crafted combs from raw Indus Valley civilization ivory, and decorated them with Harappan or Bactrian designs according to the local elite's taste. Frenes 2018b, page number 393. Many other settlements of Oman Peninsula, e.g., coastal settlements and Nar, Ras Al Had, Ras Al Jins, interior settlements Bat, Salu, Bidbit, had pronounced presence of Indus Valley civilization artifacts, including Indus-style pottery, black slipped jars, fine painted wares, pedestal dishes, perforated jars, copper axes, carnelian beads, and ivory combs. Frenes 2018b, Larsen and Stinkler, 2017. Indus pottery, in particular black slipped jars, constituted 1/3 of the inventory. In Ras Al Jins, Larsen and Stinkler, 2017, page number 19, where an Indus-style ivory comb, featuring common Harappan, dotted circles, was found along with an Indus Valley painted jar. A Harappan-style inscribed copper stamp seal with classic unicorn motif, and bitumen fragments from a coating of a boat, in buildings Iantu, Tosi and Clusio, 2007, page number 237 fig. 253, Larsen and Stinkler, 2017, page number 19, the archaeological context clearly relating the ivory comb with Indus Valley civilization. These evidences prove that Magan's elephant ivory was either directly or indirectly sourced from Indus Valley civilization. Dilmun's source of ivory. After Earth-3 dynasty's collapse, Dilmun replaced Magan as Mesopotamia's major trading partner. Oppenheim, 1954, page number 50. Larsen and Stinkler, 2017, from page number 50 to 64. Interestingly, other than dates, most of the items listed as reaching Earth from Dilmun in the late 3rd to early 2nd millennium BC, e.g., semi-precious stones including lapis lazuli and carnelian, ivory and ivory objects, copper, silver, red gold, white corals, timbers, came to Dilmun from elsewhere for onward shipment. Murray, 1994, page number XXII. Many of these items, such as lapis lazuli, carnelian, timbers, Murray, 1994, and fish eye stones. Donkin, 1998, page number 50, Howard Carter, 1986, were imported from Indus Valley civilization. Regarding ivory, various Eisenlersa period ca. 1800 BC cuneiform texts of Ur refer to rods, combs, inlays, boxes, spoons, and breastplates made of ivory, which were donated to temples by merchants, e.g. Nasir returning from Dilmund Murray, 1994, Oppenheim, 1954, from page number 6 to 12, Ratnagar, 1981, from page number 111 to 116. Now, the prime candidate for Dilmund's elephant ivory, local dugong ivory, was also used, is Melucha, Indus Valley civilization, where a population of Indian elephants was living and was actively exploited. Olejdom and David Cuny, 2018, page number 420. The extremely close trade ties between Dilmun and Indus Valley civilization are manifest from